Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Marcus Speaks Live, the very podcast that gives you trending topics and other random things. I'm your host, Marcus. People, how y'all doing tonight? um, if you could, please like this video, share this video, comment in the live chat, and subscribe if you are new here. I don't think that really matters at this point. But if you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to all. Let me go through a few of my things here. Should I pull up one of these? Yeah, let me pull up one of these just so I can have that. So, where am I at? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. People, this podcast usually comes on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when you usually can catch it. I don't think that really matters anymore either. And Saturdays really it doesn't matter either. Um, I'm sorry. If you could, please go ahead and subscribe to this here channel and the Rumble. Go to the Rumble link down in the description box. I don't think that really matters anymore either. Uh, if you want to come up and come talk to me, you can and speak about anything that I will be talking about tonight. There's a link pinned in the live chat in the white. It's that white bar that's sitting at the top of the live stream. You can go ahead and hit that and come on in here and we can talk about some things. But with that comes rules, and rule number one is you must be on camera at all times. That is not something that you can bypass, because as soon as I see a blank screen here on the backstage, I'm dropping it. It's that simple. Just follow the rules. But rule number two states, if you don't want to be on camera, that is fine. You still have to have your camera on here on the backstage. Now, what that is for is, once you come back here, once you have your microphone and your camera on here on the backstage, there's a question back here I would like for you to answer. And it's only a yes or no question. I just need you to answer yes or no and put your name first, and then yes or no, and then I'll accommodate you from there. And rule number two basically is, if you don't, then I'll tell you before coming up, turn your camera off, then I'll bring you up. But, if you don't mind, then I'll just bring you up anyway. But rule number three states, please mute all background noise. Please, please, please use wired headphones and all that other good stuff. Go to a nice secluded spot in your house if you can, so we can better hear you. Wired headphones is just not for me, it's also for the audience, for a better audio experience. And if you could, please, once again, like this video, comment in the live chat, and share this. And if you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe if you want. People, when I do my show, it usually consists of three parts: articles, videos, and my own opinion. And that doesn't really happen, in that order. But, all articles that I will be reading tonight have not been altered, because I don't really have a topic for you guys tonight other than one thing. All videos are credited in the description box of where I'll be using those videos from. I probably might get some articles from there as well. So, I'll just be reading the articles from there. And then, it's my own opinion, so it's whatever from there. But with the videos, I must tell you guys that fair use just isn't the law. It's not only a YouTube policy, it's also the law. And I want to follow both in tandem. If you guys don't know what fair use is, well, this is what fair use is. All right, well, bring up my photos, which I should have brought up. Here we go. And right here. So give me 1 second, and I'll let you know exactly what fair use is. Turn this music down. Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you about fair use. It's the law. Warning. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. All right, y'all, that's fair use. So let me put the real music on. Let's turn that off. Because, well, hold on. Let me turn this off because I have an announcement. Um, I've been doing this show for approximately 5 years and 2 months, and what's the day? And in 11 days. So 5 years, 2 months, and 11 days. I have been doing this here podcast. It started off as a pre-recorded show, of which I would slave every weekend doing. I will wake up. I will go to the gym as early as possible. I will come home, take a shower, and then I would start the production process. The pre-production process will happen through the week. I will find topics, and I would basically read those topics verbatim by looking down. Well, that kind of changed over a course of time because then I started doing bullet points. Um, Basically, so I could free up from looking down the entire time reading, because I basically had a script that I would read from because I didn't have a teleprompter, nor did Elgato think about doing teleprompters at that time, of where I get all of my streaming materials from. Um, and I didn't even know about Elgato until like probably my third year in, maybe fourth year in. And I started buying up a whole bunch of stuff because I wanted my stream to be pristine and nice and good, so I could interact with people better. Um, and then over the course of that time, I started freestyling my show. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do bullet points of topics that I want to talk about, and I'm just gonna go off of the bullet points, and then I'm gonna just riff off all the information that I have read or watched or whatever, so I could bring it to you guys. And then I would then I started to do a tandem of what I used to of everything that I was learning. So my first year was all written. Second year was bullet points. And then in the middle of that second year, I was freestyling. And then I quit for a little while, came back, and then I was basically doing what I'm doing now, where I'll have a topic, I'll read it, and then I'll give you guys my opinion, and I'll have bullet points within those topics. And then I started reading articles because I was like, well, what better to do than to give some articles of the stuff that I'm talking about so people can further understand what I'm talking about better. And then I thought, well, I'll play videos as well, so why don't I just, with every article, I bring a video into it to where people can further understand what I'm trying to get, you know, um, show them and have them understand. To where that's how my show is like now. Been through a course of things that I have done. My very first few years, I believe I was doing like Black Power content, and then it slipped to Black Power political content, and then it slipped to Black Power political trendy pop culture content. That's basically where I'm at now with this. And I've been having fun for these past 5 years. The only thing is my fun isn't matching my views. So today I'm here to tell you guys that today is the last Marcus Speaks live show. Only because over the past 5 years, I started out, I believe, with I think it was like 18 subscribers. That was in 2019 when I started. Um, I gained some following my first 2 years. It was only until my third year where I thought, well, in October, since my birthday is in October, why don't I just take off from work for a month and do YouTube and see how and see what that does for my views. Well, it helped out because when my third year, when I took off of work for a month to celebrate my birthday and also do YouTube, I saw what I needed to do. I saw that I would have having to probably switch to daytime at my job, and then every night do a show, and then after the show do research for my show the next day, to where I could be consistent like that. Well, I'm stubborn because I like my off days that I have now. I'm off Friday through Sunday. I go to work Monday through Thursday for 10 hours. I have a 40-hour work week, 50 to 60. If, well, not, I don't think I can do 60, but, what, 50? I can do a 56-hour work week. Um, no, matter of fact, no, I think that changed. So I can do a 60-hour work week if I choose to, if I work overtime. But my focus was here on YouTube because my plan was to make YouTube my livelihood, to make it my career. And I had plans with that as well because my first thing I was gonna do once I start when if I had hit it big here on YouTube was to buy a studio or to rent a studio out. Um and then from there I was going, if I got even bigger, was to hire a team to take the load off of me so I can do, other things or venture into other avenues here on the internet. So that was my plan. I was going to have a research team. I was going to have some showrunners. I was going to have some people who produced the show. Um, I wanted like a team of 6 people or whatever, including, if I had guests come through, have a receptionist, and then myself. Uh, which my receptionist would have been my assistant as well. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to put some money in some people's pockets because what I was gonna do, I was gonna hire my friends, but I ran all of this past them, and they was like they don't want anything to do with the internet. They have families, they have kids. They can't just see my dream and then opt into my dream and quit their jobs, which I understood. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to, but I was trying to wait until I hit it big. So I'm like, well, I can pay you the exact amount or double of what you make at your job. This is what I wanted to do. But none of that happened. And I was trying to do that within 5 years. Now, I saw a few YouTubers over the pandemic who just started during that year, February of 2020, gain a massive following in a short period of time. Within like 2 to 3 months, they had at least 100,000 subscribers. And I'm trying to, and I'm looking at them. I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing that they're not doing? What the hell am I'm not doing that they're doing? So I started paying attention to people. I started paying attention to Fresh and Fit. Started paying attention to Kevin Samuels. Started paying attention to uh, one of my guys that's on here, Black GMS from the GMS show. Um, he's on another podcast, 3Gs. They blew up, and I was trying to figure out what are they doing that I'm not doing. Because I have an elaborate things. I have the green screen. I have the oversight of the desk that I'm sitting at. Um, of which is just a regular desk. Like I just didn't want all this bullshit to be seen or whatever. That's the reason why I put the desk in front of it so you wouldn't have to see all this bullshit sitting on my desk. So it just helps for the contrast. Um, then I started playing, which I was doing that with my pre-recorded. I was playing the music underneath of my show, and I didn't really understand all that well why I wasn't blowing up. So, with a few episodes that I have seen over the course of time during my pre-records and my lives, probably a handful of them have gotten a substantial amount of views. With the subscriber count that I had then, my biggest show was like 200 and some odd views. Um, with my lives, my biggest show was 2.3 thousand views. So I, I'm steady racking my brain. I'm like, so what the hell made these? Well, just with a few of my live shows that garnered thousand or a couple thousand views. I'm like, what is it with these shows that I did to make them blow up? Well, number one was drama. Two of those shows had drama. There was someone pitted against someone else. So one of those videos I was talking about, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and one of his followers, Rizza Islam. I'm pretty sure you guys know who Rizza Islam is. Um, if you don't know who Rizza Islam is, look up Rizza Islam. He does good work. Check him out. And my other show that garnered a lot of views. There's another one that was like 997 views or 98 views or something like that. But the first biggest one I would say now for my lives would be when I spoke about 50 Cent doing a documentary about Diddy because of all the stuff that happened around with Diddy. So I'm not the type of guy that wants to sit here and gossip all day. That's not why I started this channel. That's not why I do what I do. My first my first inclination when starting this show was, it doesn't matter if I just reach one person. As long as I reach one person, then that's good with me. But then I started thinking. I said, Marcus, that's stupid because you do want to reach more people than what you've been reaching. So I stopped saying my saying that I used to say. Uh, you know, if this only gets one view, I'll be happy. I was trying to show you guys that you know I'm humble. I am humble. I'm a humble person. I eat my humble pie every day. But um I and then let me talk about the few times I've quit as well. So my first year I quit. I was like, I'm not getting the views that I want. I'm getting like maybe 0 to 1, maybe 2 views. Came back after that. I think I quit maybe for 9 months, I think it was. Came back around my birthday in 2021. No, I'm sorry. I quit twice. Or I think from 2019 to 2021, I think I quit a bunch of times within that. I think I quit once every year with that, I believe. I think I quit. I don't think I quit in 2019, but in 2020, 2021, I believe I quit. I think I quit maybe once or twice in 2020, and I quit once in 2001, like spring of 2001, spring or summer 2001. But then I came back because I got motivation from another YouTuber. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Omi in the Hellcat, but he's in jail now because he used to sell a illegal cable streaming service that he would basically have people pay like a fee a month just to stream television shows and movies. Um, he made a substantial amount of money from that. The only reason why that they got him is because somebody fucked up on his taxes, and the government thought that he was evading his taxes, and then the rest is history from there. But he would show people his success, all of his cars, all of his jewelry, being around his family, his friends, and stuff like that. But 20 to maybe 10 to maybe 20 minutes before every video ended, he would hit you with a life lesson like, yo, like, yeah, I got all this money, but what I mean, the first thing is happiness and all this and blah, 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 blah. And I was looking at this YouTube thing from the wrong angle. Because I was looking at it with dollar signs. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna garner all these views. I'm gonna get all this money. I'm gonna get my mom a house, and I'm gonna buy a house, and blah 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 blah. And really, a YouTuber's shelf life is no longer than probably the a YouTuber's shelf life is no longer than each of his videos. Whatever he says or however he fucks up on one of their videos, that's when, they start to expire. So, you say something crazy, well, sir, we're going to get you the fuck up out of here. Like, we don't need this. You know what I mean? So, either by his fans or, his haters or whatever. So I said to myself, although I shared some things about myself that I wasn't proud of, number one, I wasn't proud of it. That's the reason why I shared it, because I simply wanted to let people know I'm flawed just as you are. I've learned from those flaws. I still have flaws. It's just that I want you guys to know about certain flaws that I grew from. And I want you guys to learn the life lesson in it so we can move on from that, so I can give you guys some more gems. told you guys that I also started YouTube when I was in my early 20s. I was approximately around between like 19 to 20 when I started the very, very, very first time. I used to have a channel called, I think it was just my regular name. But I would do a little small comedy show where I would tell a true story, but I would elaborate some of the details and make it funny. And it was called Inside the Mind of Big Mark. So I would do that show. I would edit it, be no more than maybe like 5 to maybe like 8 minutes long. Because all my favorite YouTubers at that time was only doing 5 to 8 minute long videos. Um, so I was like, well, I'm gonna start making a 5 to 8 minute long videos every Sunday, just like them, so I can be noticed as well. They come on at 7, so I'm gonna post my videos to come on at 7. So that's what I would do. I didn't like the quality of my work then because I'm a perfectionist. So that channel got deleted. I started fresh, started new with the channel that is here now, which was um still in my early 20s, but I had converted over to Islam, started watching some black empowerment videos from one YouTuber, Sonetta. Has a channel on here on YouTube called Sonetta TV. He also had Black News 102, and he also had, well, at the time he had Black News 101, and he also had another channel. I think it was like I forgot what the channel was called. So basically, his channel was him interviewing like uh black scholars and stuff like that. So I was like, I want to do something like that. I want to, you know, I don't have the knowledge yet, but I want to at least let these guys know, that I love their work because they helped save me or whatever. So I want to give these guys their flowers. So I would go to if they were coming either between the cities of Philly, Wilmington, Baltimore, or DC, I would go to their lectures and I would film them. And then, I'll make sure I get they're okay. Do you mind if I, you know, record this and put it on YouTube or whatever? Maybe do like a 5 minute interview with you about what you spoke about. And then, I'll go from there. Um, I was able to get some stuff or whatever. Uh, but as the perfectionist that I was, I think I had maybe like 30 videos up, of which I would split it into parts because that's what he did. He would split some of his videos in parts. So I was only able to get like maybe like what? Like I was only able to go to like maybe 5 lectures or something like that. 2 of Dr. Umar's, one of a guy that I can't really say that I discovered, but he was out here. What the hell is this guy's name? What the hell is this dude's name? Hold on, let me find his name real fast. Uh, Urban Philosophy. Urban Philosophy. The author is Imhotep Fatu, but he has it's a full name. Hold on. Imhotep Assis Fatul. So I can't really say that I discovered this guy, but I posted him on my channel, and the views just went like bonkers. Like I had like probably on one video, his like the very first video was probably like 15,000 views or whatever. And as I said, I can't say that I discovered the guy because he was already out here doing this thing. But I will say that it was my video or videos that I put in parts that garnered him um that garnered him attention in the black community. Somebody saw one of my videos. I guess he was getting calls. He hit me up and asked could I make a um a DVD of his lecture that he did at the bookstore that I would go to in Claymont, Delaware. Shout out to Miss M. And I'm gonna be calling you pretty soon too, Miss M. So make sure you still have my number in your phone. Um and so me and him was keeping in contact. He was trying to get the ETA, well, not the ETA, but the have you burnt it yet? Like what have you, is it ready to go? So I'm basically told him that how it is on my YouTube, I'm trying to piece it together where it's seamless to where you can see the cuts that I've done. And as well, there's a point in time in the video where I had to switch phones or whatever because one battery died and I had to pull out my other phone so he could continue. And he stopped for me because he saw me fiddling. It was like your phone died. I was like, yeah, just let me grab my other phone. So he chilled for a little bit. I pulled my other phone out and he was like, you ready? I was like, yeah, I'm ready now. So he kept going, and I basically told him I want everything to be seamless. So when people sit down and watch the video, which the video is like, I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. I wanted to have it to where once people turned it on and played it, it was seamless. It was just like they were sitting there where at the bookstore where we were at. So, uh, so from there, he embedded some of the video on his website, but they're not there anymore because I took the YouTube videos down. And you know, I hadn't heard from him since, which like he never asked me if I had mailed the DVD or not, because I guess he found somebody to rip all of the videos off of the internet and then he burnt them himself. So I didn't get credit for that work, nor did I get paid for that work, nor do I know where the hell that video is. Well, the video is still on my phone. Like the cut up videos, as well as the full length videos and the raw video is still on my phone. It's just I don't know where the hell it is in my phone. So like I really don't tend to tend to watch it at times because I had bought two of his books. It was a third one that I never seemed to get or whatever. But no, it's no hard feelings from him. Like I didn't really feel the need to really buy that book or whatever. But anyway, hold on, give me a second. So yeah, like so I started doing those sorts of videos, but as the perfectionist I was, I didn't like it. And that was when I was in like my mid to late 20s when I started doing that. So I basically gave up on YouTube altogether, and I was like, this YouTube thing doesn't really work every time I do it. So I was like, I'm just gonna be a spectator. I'm just gonna sit in the I'm just gonna excuse me, I'm just gonna watch YouTube videos. So as I started to keep watching YouTube, I see that the podcast boom has started. So I said, well, I like I like podcasts. I like to talk. Maybe I can start a podcast. So March, yeah, late March of 2019, I I bought a mic. My old mic is sitting right over there, across from me. My old mic before I bought this mic, and I didn't really understand nothing about audio because, from what I learned, that mic that I got is actually for music recording. This mic too is for music recording, but podcasting mainly. That old mic used to pick up everything. It used to pick up conversations that was going on in my house. It was picking up um thumps and thuds and shit, and I'm like, yo, I got a fucked up product, man. Like, I really need to invest in a mic. So I started looking for prices on mics. This mic, well, I got this mic for 70 some odd dollars. This mic is really like 300 and something. Of which I got it for a deal. It's probably because the newer model had came out, of which the newer model has like like has LEDs, and it shows you if you're too loud or not or whatever. So I bought this mic because this mic was 70 some odd dollars, and that mic was 300 and something. So I said, I'm gonna get this mic, and so is this? I think this mic is no, but so the other one is USB capable. So I was like, I'm gonna get this mic. So I got the mic, set it up, and I started playing with it. I started, I told the people in my house, I said, start stomping on the floor up there, to see if I can hear it or whatever. Couldn't hear anything other than my voice. I was like, yo, my show's about to be the shit. So, well, before that, I had got the Wave XLR, the Elgato Wave XLR. And it's for people who like they have their own, like Elgato has their own proprietary mics, but I like the Shure mic better. Plus, I was like, well, I'm not gonna be having people coming in my house doing interviews and shit like that. Because I found out once I started doing interviews that I'm a bad interviewer. I don't really interview well. Um, because I'd rather have a guest come through and we just shoot the shit and have fun instead of me, asking them questions. Like I really don't like it. I'd rather just have them kick it with me, like we've been buddies or whatever. So I found out that I wasn't good at interviewing, and I was like, well, the format of my show is basically Marcus Speaks. So I could have people here, but mainly the podcast is about what I think, or what I'm saying. Really, is about what I'm saying. So I'll just stick with that. Of which I got the show name Marcus Speaks from the Muhammad Speaks newspaper that the Nation of Islam used to sell before it became the Final Call newspaper. So that's where I got the show name from, it, or the channel name from, really. Um, so I changed my YouTube name to Marcus Speaks. Started doing all of the cover, the thumbnails and stuff like that, and I was like, okay. Well, what is my with some of these um like YouTubers, like they don't really have set colors that they like to use. I'm different. I like set colors, but I was like, well, let me just use my favorite football team's colors, which is the Steelers, so black and yellow. So so from there I was like, okay, cool. I have it all figured out now. So, I'm going. I think I had stopped for oh, so going back to when I found Omi and the Hellcat, it was when I wasn't doing YouTube anymore. And he was sitting there basically giving these like life changing, and he's no no more than maybe like a year or two older than me. And he basically was giving these life lessons like, yeah, you can have the money or whatever, but what's really important is family and the people around you and blah 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, he's right. Like maybe I could do this YouTube thing without thinking about the money. And I was like, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get back on the horse, and I'm just gonna do YouTube. And if the money comes, the money comes. It really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna go at it full steam ahead. And that's what I did. I came back a changed man, and I started showing more of my personality on here. And it was a slow burn, but I started showing more of my personality, and I started showing you guys that I'm not as serious as I bring myself off to be. More of a jokester, and you can see when I'm doing the or the when I'm telling jokes and stuff like that, or or the punchline is me not saying the punchline or whatever, where I'm just doing and I'm like, hey man, come on now. So I I wanted to be as authentic as I am around my friends that I was to you guys. And it worked out a little bit, because once I started doing that, people started subscribing more, people started to watch more. But the thing is, what I found, of what I started to calculate, was people are just watching YouTube videos. People aren't subscribing to people's YouTube channels. So I was like, why is this going on? And in my analytics, It's like 20% people watch my videos. Hold on, let me go to my analytics. Um, let me see. Audience. So, well, this is the last. What is it? Let's see. Let's do lifetime. So 95.7% of people watch my videos who aren't subscribed, and only 4.3 people watch who are subscribed to my videos. So that's a little number. And a lot of YouTubers are dealing with this where people won't subscribe, they'll just watch and like and then they'll move on. It's like, well, no, I need that subscription, homie. Like at least give me, a sub. It's just people that, pass by, watch, and that's it. Um, then you start looking at your analytics of how many people are watching the video in full. Well, once I started looking at that, so let's do. Excuse me. Let's do. Was it content? So uh I get 3,000.5K. Hold on. So I had a burp. Anyway, so I get 3.5 thousand impressions. My impressions with the click through rate is 1.6. Is that lifetime? I think this is on average. And then like on average, view duration is between like 8 minutes to like 45 minutes. Which some people say, a podcast should only lasts 45 minutes to an hour. Well, I have a lot to say. All right. So my podcast lasts for 2.5 hours, sometimes three. I had to really start pulling myself in because sometimes in them early years, my podcast was lasting for like 6 to 7 hours. I was like, nobody's gonna watch this full fucking video. Nor am I gonna sit here and chop this damn thing up in hour increments. So those videos did no views. So because people are intimidated and they don't have the time to watch that long of a podcast. Hell, people don't have as long to watch a 2.5 hour podcast, let alone an hour podcast, a 7 hour podcast. So I started telling myself, Marcus, no more than 2.5 hours. So the reason why I picked 2.5 hours is because I started to really use this restream that I use. I was like, I can really start. I can do an hour and a half worth of stuff, and then the last hour I can do calls with people who's watching. Well, people pop in and pop out, so it's not like I can talk to anybody. I've only spoke to probably also a handful of people the 5 years that I've been doing this. Um, two of the people is some people that I admire that do this YouTube thing, and other people just random people. Um, those two people are Cannon Hotep and Jay Pylon. They've been through here. They've commented in the comment section. They've gave me likes and love and all that, and I appreciate them. I appreciate them. I think I pissed Cannon Hotep off when I met him on here because I told him that I like watching y'all stuff, and I like to convey y'all's message in a way that I can basically hold on. What did I say? I said I like to take y'all's message and flip it a little bit in my own words, or whatever. I think I pissed Cannon off when I said that because he's taken a few shots at me over the past uh couple years or whatever. Not like every video, but around the time when he came on here, and probably within that year frame of whatever, he's taken a few shots at me. So, no harm, no foul. Uh, but that's something that I wasn't trying to do because that year was the year that I had said that I was gonna start getting out of my comfort zone, going to people's shows and introducing myself and inviting them over to my channel to do some content. Well, since I put a bad taste in one of the people's mouths that I admire, I basically said fuck it after that. I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna do it my way. Uh which Cannon, I didn't intend to piss you off. I was just saying that I like what you guys say. Cannon always says that, Hotep Nation is the tastemakers of the internet. And I was like, well, I think I'm one of those people too, because with some of the information that they were saying to their audience, I had already spoke about it most of the times when I would listen to them, like maybe a week to 2 weeks prior before that. I was like, oh, I already know about that stuff. Like I talked about that like 2 weeks ago on my show. Um, so I'm basically saying all of that to say that I'm basically quitting. Well, hold on. I'm quitting for a I'm quitting for a certain amount of time until I fully understand YouTube. So I don't know when I'm coming back. I don't know if it'll be next week, if it'll be next year, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. When I fully understand uh this thing called YouTube, then that's when I'll come back. So I'm basically doing a pilgrimage at this point. So I'm only leaving YouTube so I can fully understand YouTube. So when I come back, I can blow up just like Fresh and Fit did. I'm not going to do all the bullshit that they did to lose monetization and followers and stuff like that. I'm going to do it organically like I've been doing now. And I'm going to at least try at what I tried these past 5 years. But until then, I don't know when I'll be back. So, yeah, with that being said, people, as I said earlier, today's the last show. So it's not goodbye, it's see you later. You guys can still hit me up on my Instagram, my Facebook main page, my Facebook fan page, my X page. You guys can get in touch with me. All right. If you want to check in, like, Mark, how's it going? Like, what's up? I'll comment back. I'll be like, yo, what's going on? What you doing? Um, I'll make sure that I'll um comment back and say something to you guys. But I can't do it anymore because getting one or two views or me averaging like 7 to 20 views on average. And then the at the high end it's like between like 50 to 200. Nah, I know I'm better than that. I'm better than that. I feel like I'm better than some people that's doing this. Some of the people that I've also pissed off, some people that I probably rubbed the wrong way, such as I feel as though that I rubbed Black GMS the wrong way by coming on the show, telling his followers, come and follow me on my channel, blah, 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 and stuff like that, which I found out is a no-no, so I don't, So I feel like I pissed GMS off. And all these people that I'm naming, I don't really know personally. So for me to really, really care the way that I am, like it's beyond me. Like I would never be like, fuck them or nothing. But it's like these are the people that I watch, that I look up to in this YouTube thing, and I at least wanted to at least be at least a colleague of theirs where they can send me some information the way that I would send information to them, because I know that I wouldn't speak about this on my show, but I know this is what you like to talk about on your show. So here's some information on a topic that you can do. Just shout me out, which they never did. Which I stopped sending them shit because it's like I'm not gonna keep sending you shit if you're not gonna shout me out. Or which Canon Hotep did. Canon Hotep did, but there's some other people that I admire that I've sent information to where it's like they found the topic and there was no shadow. Then it's like, well, that's the last time I'll give you any information, sir. So, like I said, it's only goodbye. I'm sorry. It's only see you later. It's not goodbye. I might have pissed some people off all this video, but hey, you know what I mean? Who cares at this point? Because I won't be doing this every week that I used to. Um, I will also say that this show has taken a personal toll on me because simply, I dedicate all my energy to this show. Um, One reason why I switched the show from Saturdays to Fridays is my show used to come on Saturdays at, was it 8 or 9 o'clock or something like that? No, it was Saturdays at 6. I will come on 6:30. I will come on, and I would do. Then when I started doing my streaming, um, my game streaming, I would do that Fridays at 6:30 until I was like, well, no, the I'll do the streaming show at 6:30 on Fridays, and then I'll do the um I'll do Friday the Saturday podcast at 8. I'll do prime time. And I started getting a little bit of viewership, but then I was like, no, fuck this. I want to compete because nobody has a podcast on Saturdays other than me and another group of people. And um they weren't really getting any views like that as well. So I reached out to them and said, look, I do a podcast on Saturdays too. There's nobody watching us. We're going to have to switch to another day during the week. I said, I'm thinking about switching my show that I do Fridays to Saturday afternoons and doing my podcast at on Fridays at 8 p.m. prime time, because it seems as though that people who watch other podcasts on Fridays at prime time, they're getting views. So you guys should pick another day. So they followed my advice. I think they come on like Tuesdays now. Tuesdays at like 4:30 or something like that. So they followed my advice. I followed my own advice. And then I started doing this show 8 o'clock on Fridays. And then I started doing my game stream Saturdays at 2:30 because I saw that was prime time for game streaming sort of for a Saturday. Excuse me. Yeah, between like 11 a.m. to like 4 p.m. is like prime time for stuff on Saturdays. So I was like way out there. Started garnering some views here, and on Fridays, and I was like, all right, good. I'll stick to this time slot, and it was full steam. It was full steam ahead since 2022, especially when I took off in that October, and I basically like 2 months prior, I had days mapped out of when I would stream or when I would drop a video, and I was like, I'm gonna do it these 2 days, and then I'm a chill, and then I'm gonna do it this day, then I'm gonna chill, and then I'm gonna do my two regular streams, and then I'm gonna chill, and then I'm gonna do it all over again. Of which it worked. So so that's when I basically said I'm coming close to my 5 years, and I found a format of what works. But I'm gonna have to change my shift, of which I don't want to do because I don't want to work Fridays because I'm off Fridays. I was like, why would I work on a Friday if I'm off? So I was like, I'm gonna have to do the best I can. So I was like, well, what if I pre-recorded a show or pre-recorded like 5 segments, just sit here, do like 50 minutes on a Sunday, chop them up, put them as pre-recorded videos to where I can start garnering views. Well, I didn't really have the time to do that because I think at the time I was doing 3 videos a week. I was doing Marcus Speaks Live, Marcus Speaks Play, and then Marcus Speaks Shorts, which was basically me telling stories from my life and making them funny or whatever. Marcus Speaks Shorts fell by the wayside because I had told all my stories. So I was like, well, damn, I don't have any new stories. So Marcus Speaks Shorts is going to have to stop simply because I don't have any more stories. So Marcus Speaks Play took the place of Marcus Speaks Shorts because at the time I was only doing Marcus Speaks and Marcus Speaks Shorts. And then Marcus Speaks Live came into fray, which I can be like, well, I don't have to really do Marcus Speaks anymore. I can because I'm doing it live now. And then I was like, I want to do game streaming because I like seeing uh, a dude I like to watch, Rad Brad. I like how he does his, but I'm gonna put myself in the video like Abdullah does. I was like, so I'm gonna do it the way that Rad Brad does it, but I'm gonna show myself like Abdullah does it. So um these are game guys that do YouTube videos. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that. So started showing myself. Wasn't really getting really many views by showing myself because there's not very many black game streamers. So I was like, what if I hide myself? Or I'm a disembodied voice? And then I started doing that, but I had to show myself in the beginning of everything, and then I had to turn my camera off, which was great for my computer because it wasn't having to work as hard. So I was like, all right, I can do that. But then I was like, I'm not one of those gamers that plays everything. Like I have a certain select thing things I like to play. I like playing fighting games, some sports, action adventure, um, shooters, and that's about it. And I was like, well, I don't think I can really be successful in the gamer space because I don't play everything like everybody. So I was like, well, fuck, I'm fucked now with that because I had to be put on hiatus for a while. Was it last year? Maybe I know this year I'm on hiatus from it because um I'm waiting for a game. I forgot what game I ended it with because I know one of my game streams started to fuck up, which was the Assassin's Creed and the Star Wars game. It was starting to like it would basically cut out, and I'll have to start my system all over, and like it was just a bunch of foolishness going on. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start to just play the games I like playing. That's the reason why I started doing hiatuses. Which took a load off of me because not only do I have to come up with thumbnails, hashtags, uh, tags, or whatever. I was like, because I was working basically overtime and doing that stuff too. Because not only am I trying to get research for the podcast, I have to do all the other things that I do for the podcast, such as hashtags and tags and stuff like that. I gotta now get hashtags and tags for the video game videos, just as well as I had to do with Market Speak Shorts. I was like, so if I do hiatuses, that cuts the time down of me because people, y'all don't know this, but I'm gonna tell you guys. An average weekday for me is this. I wake up around maybe about 11:30, 12 o'clock before work. I'm scouring social media for topics throughout the weekend. So basically, when I will have my topics for the so come Thursday, this is what I do. I'll just start from there. So Thursday, once I come home, depending on if it's a pay week or not. If it's a pay week, then I come home, I sit down, I eat a little something as I'm fine tuning what I'm going to be talking about. So I got the TV screen in front of me. I got my TV on. I'm watching that. I'm fine tuning hashtags and tags. Um, Structuring sentences. I'm taking things out. I'm putting things in. I might replace something. I might replace a topic. I'm just putting the final touches on everything before I print it out, and then I have to do some stuff where I'm, darkening my my page or whatever to where it's not bright to where I'm bright because I have a teleprompter now, and I was working fine tuning everything with that. Uh, so once it prints, I'm done until the podcast. So if something comes up as far as like a new entry into that topic, I have to then shred everything that I printed out because I might have an extra page added on. I might have 2 extra pages. I might have a couple less pages because everything that I had is probably debunked at that time, and it's like, well, fuck, now I gotta get rid of this whole thing, which is good for when I read it off the teleprompter because I don't have to worry about anything. But so those printout days that I would have would be hell because it'd be like, well, fuck, this new information coming up Friday now, and then Saturday I would revisit the topic to see if anything else came out. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't, but the Saturdays when I would revisit it or after the show something will come out, I'm like, well, damn, I gotta revisit this topic again. So I was basically going through the rigmarole of doing all this work to get so little views. When some of the people that do like gossip channels, half of these motherfuckers can't read, half of these motherfuckers can't speak, half of these motherfuckers aren't articulate, and I'm like, how the fuck are they getting thousands upon millions of views and these motherfuckers can't speak or talk or have elegance of what they're saying? And I'm like, I'm killing myself. And these niggas got all these views and I'm killing myself to get like 4 views. So I don't know if you guys have seen me lately, but I've been scurrying Twitter lately. Because it's like, I shouldn't have to put up so much effort just to get like 5 views. I shouldn't. So I basically canceled Marcus Speaks play indefinitely because I was like, I'm not about to do this because those videos hardly get any views. Because some of these gamers that's here on YouTube, they're getting the game like 2 weeks prior before everybody. So it's like, well, that puts a damper on my views because not only is the person playing the game, they're showing themselves beating the game as well. And some of these people that's watching these people play these games, they have the inclination that they're not going to play the game as well. So I'm like, well, okay, I'm canceling Marcus Speaks play indefinitely. I'm just going to focus on my podcast. So focus on the podcast a little bit more. That's when the 50 Cent Diddy video went big. I was like, oh shit. 2.3, that means I'm gonna get about 17.3 thousand impressions, which might garner me maybe 100 to 200 subscribers. Cool. Never happened. So I'm like, well, damn. Like, is my videos not the shit? Like, because I think my videos are the shit. But, you know, I think my videos are the shit. Like, depending on the subject matter and how many jokes I'm telling in between and stuff like that, and how much fun I'm having. Once I tell y'all, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week. When I will cut my mic off, I take my headphones off and I'll lay back like, damn, that was a good show. But when I go and look at the views come Monday, because I don't look at my viewer count until I wake up on Monday, because that's when everything gets solidified and everything. I look at it and I'm like, 75 views. Like, this should have at least between 10 to 50,000 views. But, you know. So, people, I'm quitting YouTube again. It's not indefinitely. Like I said, it's only until I figure some shit out. Plus, I also want to get my life together a little bit too, because I've been focusing just on this. I've been saving money and stuff like that. I'm about to, move out into another apartment pretty soon. So I at least want to get my life together a little bit more. Uh, I cut dating out for 5 years because I wanted all my energy to focus on this before I thought to start dating again. Plus, it's hard dating in your 30s, y'all. Like, I don't know if you guys know this. If you don't already have somebody and you're trying to date in your 30s, this shit is hard. Because you're already stuck in your ways. You're already stubborn. You already don't give a fuck about somebody else's opinion as far as like a girlfriend goes. And that can hinder you a little bit from from dating. Like it can hinder you a little bit. But at the same time, I'm an open person. I'll listen and stuff like that. You know, any girlfriend of mine that I have, you know, they they get spoiled. So it's like it's not like I'm a bad dude or nothing. It's just I just decided once I started April 10th of 2019 that I was just gonna fully focus on doing the podcast. I think it was that year prior in 2018. September, no, August something of 2018. No. I'm sorry. Hold on. When was it? No, it was that year as well. So August something of 2019 was when I quit going out to the bar every weekend as well. Because after I would do a show on Saturdays, so from 6 to maybe 8:30, 6 to 9, 6:30 to 9 or 9:30, I'm sitting here doing the podcast, yeah, whatever. As soon as I would put all the finishing touches and tied the bow on the show, I would race upstairs, get a shower for the night, go out, meet a couple of my homeboys or some work friends, drink until 2 o'clock, and then I'm back home. But then I was like, well, I'm wasting money as well. So I was like, well, let me stay my ass in the house for now. So I started staying in the house more. This is pre-pandemic too. So I started sitting in the house pre-pandemic. So when the pandemic got here, I was already sitting in the house, so it didn't really bother me. It was just when the gym started to close down, open up, close down, open up, close down. I'm like, well, fuck. For all that, I might as well just sit my ass at home and work out. So every night after work, I would sit here. I would do some push-ups, some calisthenics, some weightlifting, and that was my night until I would hop on the computer, do a little bit of research for some topics, and then I'll go my ass to bed. But but yeah, but since then, um, I just feel like I need to start getting out a little more than what I've been. I need to, no, not like every weekend like I used to, every Friday and Saturday. At least one day out of the week, or one or two times a month or something like that. Go out, mingle and shit like that. Um, but the main reason why I'm stopping my show, the videos is gonna stay, so I'm not deleting anything. I I'm so, like I said, I'm such a perfectionist. I perfected my show to where I wouldn't have to delete any of these videos because I'm proud of all my material that I've done. Um I've talked about certain things that's came out within the past few years. I'll even talk about like a year prior, like one of my shows that I've done, what you don't know about pedophiles. For all this pedophile talk, I'm like, if people aren't watching that video, then I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And this is like 2 to 3 years prior before they started talking about pedophiles. I was doing it. Sex trafficking before everybody started talking about. Well, before it started becoming a big topic on YouTube or social media, I talked about it. What else have I spoke of before anybody else started talking about it? Hell, I did a show, one of my shows, the beginning show of the year, I think it was 2023. Uh, The Order of Chaos was my first show that I did in 2023, if not 2022, where I basically spoke of like conspiratorial occultist things. Shit's happening now. Where people was talking about that now. So I like that I'm ahead of the curve, but at the same time, I hate that how much of ahead of the curve I am, because some people may look at it as, well, he's just a crazy guy talking crazy things, and then it gets brought in their face 2 to 3 years later, where it's an echo chamber of people talking about it, and it's like, well, I guess I wasn't so crazy at all, was I? So, I feel like that I operate like up here when everybody else is operating down here. I at least want to be in the middle. So, um, I guess I gotta get off my high horse. So this is gonna take me some time. But like I said, I got some other life things I want to deal with before I even come back to this. So sometime in the future I'll be back maybe. So, um, with that being said, let's get into a few topics before I go. So I guess this will be the random topics portion of the day. um, so let's go to Twitter. So if you guys don't know, Justin Timberlake was caught drinking and driving. Justin Timberlake was caught drunk driving, and the police told him that we have to take you by. Y'all didn't get it, but it's alright. So that's Justin. He blows the stop sign. And the cops get on his head. So basically, they catch him. He pulls the "Don't you know who I am" speech, and the cop basically tells him, "I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a damn who you are." So, um, hold on, before I get to any of that, before I get to that, oh yeah, so I'll say, I'll put this here now. So, you know, you got Janet Jackson with the kufi on, like it don't feel too good, does it? That they're being scrutiny. So, you know, he got the mug shot and shit. He looked bad because he does look like he's been drinking, and he looks embarrassed, and he's like, "Well, this is about to go out to all the news stations in the world." You goddamn right, Justin. So, it states, Justin Timberlake's mugshot has been released after he was arrested for drunk driving Officers say his eyes were bloodshot and glassy. A strong odor of an alcoholic beverage was emanating from his breath. Come on, Jesse, you ain't think to take a Tic Tac or something? After being pulled over, Timberlake reportedly told cops, "No, I'm not doing a chemical test. I refuse. I refuse." Well, I believe in every state that means you get the clink clanks put on you. Because I know here in the state of Maryland, once I say I'm not doing a field sobriety test, they just, all right, well, put the go ahead, turn around so we can put the cuffs on you, because it says on the back of my license that if I refuse a field sobriety test, that is an automatic arrest. So I don't drink and drive. Or do I? Bruh. It's a mystery to me, because I don't know if I do or if I don't. So, Timberlake was drinking at the American Hotel bar with friends in the Hamptons before he got in his car. Officers say they saw him run through a stop sign and swerve in the lane. So he was drunk. Nasty bitch. He was white girl drunk, basically. So let's move on. So I wanted to cover this because I haven't even really saw this video yet, but I thought that this motherfucker looked like Eddie Murphy in Vampire in Brooklyn. So I wanted to cover this. This is my first time watching this, so let's go through it.
Converting my document to get off. When I have higher papers. That is a strategy of stopping other people.
I know your phone is ringing, but if you're joining the conversation on the Movie TV platform, okay? Channel 1, the top star decoder, channel 104.
Hello?
Later on, you'll be able to come through and give us your contributions.
How you answer your phone on an interview, dog? Come on now. Show some professionalism. Jesus Christ.
On the number that is scrolling on your screen. Those that are joining the conversation from across the continent of Africa, you can use our social media platforms.
So yeah, I just wanted to show that because I thought homie looked like Vampire in Brooklyn. So this was live streamed over YouTube off of a few channels. I didn't get to watch this, but I was on Twitter and I was looking at how Putin's been making some moves lately. Not only did he send naval ships and a submarine to Cuba, which he was off the coast of Florida before he arrived to Cuba. He then this week, because that was last week that he went to Cuba. He went to North Korea this week to speak with Kim Jong-un. I don't know what the hell that they're saying. I'm going to stop the video and read the caption. So here we go. Is that Putin's first time driving? I don't think we need to hear this music, but is that his first time driving? Like, the fuck is going on? Well, yeah, they hanging out. They I guess they got a trip or something going on, and they're about to spark some shit. So so I don't know if you guys seen this video either. So Birdman went to a prison. I don't know if it was in Louisiana or where he went, but this fool had this to say to one of the inmates to one of the inmates' question. So here we go.
And I help y'all. We have no access to. We have no access to. I have enough power to make that happen. Okay, well, we need inside help for his leadership. For these guys having books to read upon the criminal. So you think read books from? I know this reading books. And I help y'all.
The inmate asked, well, hold on. He says, is there anything that I can do for you guys? Because I have the power to do that. Inmate says, well, we need some literatures, some books in here that we can read, to basically educate them, help them pass time. And as well, probably get like a law library in there. So just in case if they're fighting a case, they can read up on their case and basically, if they don't have enough money to have a regular lawyer, their public defenders fucking them. So, they can probably take matters into their own hands and be like, well, I read up on my case. I know the case law. I know what documents to submit and all that. This fool goes to say, do you think books is going to help y'all? Yeah. Like, the fuck is wrong with this dude? Do I think books is going to help us? Yeah. Like, nigga, I got a fucking murder trial I'm going through of some shit that I didn't do. Like, what do you mean, do I think books is going to help me? Yes, books are going to help me, fool. So, but yeah, man, like, that shit was wild. So let me, I showed that last week. So let's go to the Explore page. Let's see. So we got Shakari, she won. So there's no need to show that Dr. Disrespect. I have no idea who that is. Judge Judy, she basically the whole Judge Judy thing, reason why she's trending is basically because she wants to get something done when it comes to like property in New York or whatever. Roman Reigns, Glorilla, Bryce Harper, Series S. What's going on with that? Let's see what's going on with Microsoft and Xbox. I know they just released. Oh, hold up. Can't show that. Almost got me. Almost got me. Ain't shit in here. All right, let's move from that. So let's go up. What we got? The Shah. Let's see what's going on with Avengers 5. Benedict Cumberbatch confirmed he will return for Avengers 5 and will begin filming next year. Is that all the news? Is that Benedict's coming back? I really feel like we need Kang recasted. Like, get either this is who I think that they should get as Kang. They should either get Denzel Washington's son or the guy who played Martin Luther King in the Selma movie. Or get Denzel Washington himself. he's played a great villain when it comes to Training Day. See if he's interested. You know, he's not going to be there for a long time. You know, he got what, like, the plan was Kang to be in like 4 or 5 movies. I'm pretty sure Denzel can do that. You know, he can play a prime variant, like a variant that we never got to see of Kang, of which that will be the Kang that they fight. Instead of the you know, he can basically Marvel can basically say that the Kang that we saw was the creation of the Kang that we haven't seen. Is basically so He Who Remains, the Kang that we saw in what's the damn movie? Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Loki movie, I mean the Loki show. All those variants of Kang can be a creation of the actual Kang. So they can say like that was a younger version of him, but this is the real version of him, and they can go from there. But you know, I'm just a viewer of cinema. I'm not a screenwriter, but you know, makes more sense than anything. Anyway, Doctor Strange is coming back, so let's move from there. What we got? Tariq, SmackDown, Doctor Disrespect. I didn't want to go there because I already know Shikari won. This like why talk about it? But I know one thing with the Shikari thing. She didn't pass a trial or something for her to go to the Summer Olympics. And she was what 20 the first time when she got in that trouble. She's 24 now, probably going on 25, if not already 25. So that means that sets her back another 4 years to where she won't be able to compete again until she's 28. But I would say I would give up at this point. I'm pretty sure that's her dream, but it's like, you know, they they basically jerking you around, Pauls, because of what? Like she's faster than anybody else that she's going against. Even some Jamaican chicks, she's faster than, and it's like, what more do you want? You know what I mean? So what we got? Former Twitch employee came out to say Dr. Disrespect was banned because he was caught texting a minor on Twitch, Twitch Whispers, and trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. Oh wow! Doesn't Dr. Disrespect like like doesn't he wear those glasses and shit? But those sunglasses or whatever. So he basically was trying to solicit sex from a minor, basically, on his Drake shit. But yeah, that's him right there, Doctor Disrespect. But play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Let me see if I can refresh this to where it'll give us a different. All right, let's see. Jacob Fatu, X Cans Lines. No one cares about that. Judge Judy, Victoria Monet, Tariq, Shikari, Roman, Wyatt, Wyatt Six, Samus, Black American. Let's see. All right, none of this is important. Do they have anything when it comes to? Let me type in Kendrick Lamar. So Kendrick had his pop-up concert in LA of Wednesday night, and performances from people from the West Coast. Um and he had a great set. Is this the whole thing? This is the whole thing of his set.
To get the momentum going. And the West Coast needed this. Y'all know what I read. But man, as history has shown, there's always been a fire and a certain kind of spark coming up out of Compton, especially. Y'all always rise from the ashes and rise to the occasion. You love when they count you out.
So basically, Kendrick popped out and showed niggas what he could do. You know, he played all of his, all of his hits. His all the songs that his fans like, including, he came out to Euphoria. Um, and he ended with Like Us. He played that like 5 times. And, song so popular, once he said, what you trying to strike a chord, and it's probably, and he dropped his mic, and the crowd went wild with A minor. It just went. He boogied to it. He played the song over, performed it again, stopped it again at A minor, played it over, performed it all. That's when people started coming on stage. He rapped the whole song, played it again, rapped it again, and then he started over again. And it was just the instrumental at that point, because everyone started to disperse. But it was a good concert. I watched it in full last night, and I think Kendrick's the GOAT. I think Kendrick's the GOAT at this point. But it was basically putting the nail in Drake's coffin, the final nail in Drake's coffin, as well as dancing on his grave. So, yeah. Well, people, I believe that concludes tonight's show. I have no more else to talk about. I hope you guys liked today's show. Because I did. But before I get out of here, how about we do a show summary? So, didn't have a small banter topic, but today's main topic was basically me telling you guys that today is the last show. And yeah, like I, like I said, it's not forever, but um but it's just it's not forever. It's just until I feel like I've gotten a grasp of doing this the right way. But then we scoured Twitter, just as you guys saw me. Scoured Twitter, and yeah, and the yeah, that's about it. But people, that has concludes today's show. I want to go off on a high note. Um, with this